What's up, guys? Kyle here, back with episode 4 of Jersey Muscle Radio, excuse me. And I'll introduce Chris in a second. Today's topic, we're going to be going over programs that we've used personally that you guys can implement right away to start getting results. Like if you go to the gym tonight, you can be able to do some of this stuff. So, Chris, what's going on, man?
What's up, Kyle? How you doing? All right.
Good, very good,
All
very
right, good
good.
stuff.
So, what we'll talk about first, guys. A lot of people get caught up with what to do in the gym, and the truth be told, that's the reason people go to Chris and pay him what they pay him, or they go to my gym. It's really the expertise or the programming that they're paying for. You know, they don't need the equipment. So what I've found, I'll start with what I've been doing lately after the bodybuilding shows, lifting 4 days a week. And I'll give you yesterday's workout, for example, so you can try this if you want it tonight. Each of the 4 days has one of the main lifts. So yesterday was deadlift day. So, I switched it up this 3 week period. So I'm doing hex deadlift. And I'll go 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 as far as my rep scheme. Okay? Um, then after that, I basically hit all the posterior of the body. So I did glute ham raises, superset with single-legged leg press, uh, and superset was a triplex, superset rear foot elevated split squat body weight, but high reps, like 30 reps. I went through that 3 times. Then I did a back circuit where this week I worked up to 50-second sets. So I had 3 exercises. I had a low row. You could use any type of machine or whatever you have at your gym. I did a vertical pull. So I used a hammer machine for that, and then I did a face pull. Each set for 50 seconds. So my rest period was just my transition to the next one. And then I hit some traps, upper back, and I superset that with calves, high reps, and rear delt flies. So everything was pretty much on the back side of the body. It wasn't like, okay, I'm just training triceps today or things of that nature. And every time I time these workouts, they take about an hour, guys. So what have you been doing lately that's been working for you?
Um, the past week or so, I kind of revamped my split for the past month. Write this stuff down, guys. Get a pen and paper. Write this. Go back and write this down because college went through a lot of stuff, and and I probably have to go back and write it down because it was a lot. But the past week or so, I've been splitting my workouts in push only and pull only workouts. So just testing it out. I've never done anything like this before. Most of my mass gaining programs have been um, either upper, lower, or split body parts. And when I split body parts, I usually do um, chest and buys, back and strides, and then legs and shoulders. But for the sake of keeping the intensity high, I've been doing like these push-pull workouts. So yesterday I did, let me think here, I did squats. So it's pretty much total body, but you're doing push-only movements in one workout and then pull-only movements in the next. So yesterday I did squats. I did um, incline hammer presses, uh, overhead press. What else did I do? Leg extensions. Basically 3 sets or so of each exercise. Very short breaks. And I'll tell you what, man, keeping it in a total body fashion, it keeps the intensity high throughout the entire workout. Like you're not really hitting a set of biceps and then another set of biceps and then another set of biceps. I mean, you're going from squats to presses to another set of presses with overhead presses. So it keeps that intensity high. I typically do 1 or 2 um, high intensity sets. I don't really do more than that because I feel like if your intensity is high enough and you really hit that 1 or 2 sets really, really hard, that's all you really need.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of guys go in the gym and they do like 16 sets for their biceps. It's like if you do 1 or 2 really freaking hard sets, then you don't need to do the other 14. Um, so that's what I've been doing, and I've been splitting it up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this week, Monday was a pull workout, which was deadlifts, a lot of back exercises, biceps. Um, Yesterday was push, so squats, presses, tricep work, and then tomorrow, which is Friday, will be another pull, and then next week it'll switch. But I've honestly, within the last week or the last 10 days, I've seen results from these workouts as far as help keeping me lean too. Because I feel like if you do a lot of split workouts with body weight, I mean, not body weight, with body parts, then you're not doing a lot of compound movements sometimes because your compounds are your legs, your presses, and your rows. Um, and every time you're doing arms or something, it's not a lot of compound work. But the fact that you're splitting it up and doing compound work over your total body over the course of that workout, I think it helps keep your metabolism going and just keeps that intensity higher. So that's
Yeah.
what I've been doing, you know.
Cool. So you've been going 3 days a week?
3 days, yeah. Any more than that, I feel like I start to get injured. I don't know what my problem is, but if I do four, I start to get aches and pains. And I think it may be because the intensity's high. I just can't handle more than three workouts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean it's we went we went away for the anniversary last Thursday, and I actually got to read. It was Wendler's updated 531 book.
Right,
I can't remember 531 and Beyond or something like that.
right, sure.
And I always like his stuff, and it's I'm opting even. I think we go away next week when I come back to go to something like he taught. He had different plans in there where it's for myself personally, because after the contest I'm still a little fried. But 2 days of lifting, so you hit all your compound lifts.
Right.
2 days of straight mobility work, which has been lacking in my program just because time. Um,
That and you don't like it. Don't don't
I
lie.
know it's not as fun, but I figured I could do that at home, and then I can leverage my time and
Yeah,
watch some kind of DVD while I'm doing it or whatnot. Because it's a lot of times, personally, right now when I get to the gym, with being the different roles that we have, being a business owner and husband and all these things, you only have so much time. So a lot of people listen to this too. I think they have kids. The time is limited. So
yeah,
if you went to what I'm going to experiment is 2 days lifting, 2 days mobility, 2 days of conditioning.
yeah.
Because right now, even on my off days, like this morning, I've been doing my heart rate variability training. But sometimes it's a drag, man. Like you don't feel like going in there hitting an hour, getting your heart rate up to
Ah,
150.
totally, totally.
I actually cut the sessions short this morning just because mentally I said, what, I just don't feel like doing this today. Um, but you had said something about arms, so I'll give you guys something too that you can use again tonight. The way that we train arms, uh, as Chris was saying, everybody likes to train. A lot of guys like to train arms. I personally hate it. To me, it's the most painful thing. I don't like it.
You don't do a lot of direct arm work, nothing.
Rarely, yeah. And
Yeah.
the only time, up until when I was getting ready for the contest, I hadn't done direct arm work in a couple years. Um, but then when I was rereading some Scott Abel stuff through the contest prep, he was talking about how cables are one of the superior ways to train when you have a pulley system, the arms, because you have constant tension.
Yep.
So what I've been doing at the end of my workouts now, because I've been putting them in, or even the clients, I'll do like one set. So let's say it's biceps. I'll do a cable curl uh, bicep drop set. So let's say I started 80 pounds. And now the key when you're training arms, guys, is you have to flex the movement. So you're not just moving the weight. So if it's biceps, we're flexing it up all the way. And on the way down, we're still flexing, but we're letting the weight just be, we're just flexing just enough so it can be overcome by the weight. It's very painful to train that way. So then as soon as you fail, we pull the pin, we keep going right up the rack. So you might get anywhere between 40 and 50 concentrated reps. The set's not going to take you more than 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and then you're done. That's it. And the same thing with triceps. You could try that. It would be like, let's say, something like a tricep press down. Constant tension, same thing, drop set, boom, done. Because I think a lot of people, when they train arms, they're just moving the weight around. They're not,
Yeah.
and the arms aren't nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a key point. I mean, you can either train longer or you can train more intense. You can't do both. So if your intensity is through the roof, your set's not going to last very long at all. But so if you're, like I said earlier, if you're doing like 16 sets for biceps, you're not really doing anything. I mean, you should be able to do that one drop set at the end of your workout, and your arm should be smoked, and it would probably take like maybe a minute or 2 minutes to do that set. That's it. If it won't even take 2 minutes, it won't even take that long.
That's it.
But it just you go right up the rack and then you're done. Um, So yeah, I mean, when I do direct arm work, I typically, I usually only do 2 or 3 sets. Occasionally, I'll do something like that, but I've been doing that. I would do it at the dumbbell rack. I run the rack on the dumbbell rack, so I'll do curls and then jump down 10 pounds, do another set of curls, 5 or 10 pounds. Um, I might try that what you just said because I've just joined a regular gym. I don't train at
Hmm.
my gym.
Yep. Yeah. No. Same thing. Yeah.
It's because I just can't. It's just like work to me when I'm there.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try that when I go. When I go tomorrow, I'll do that. Um, but yeah, the intensity is either there or it's not. And if it's not there, then you're able to do more sets, and you're not really getting the max benefit out of it. And one thing you guys can employ in your workouts, and this is with any exercise, is slowing the reps down. If you guys want to grow and you want to put on muscle mass, like Kyle said, don't just move the weight. Don't just bang reps out. Slow the reps down. Do a 2 to 3 second positive on the exercise and then a 2 to 3 second negative. You're going to have to drop the weight down a little bit, and it's going to hurt your ego, but you just got to get over it. But that is what's going to help you grow because that's that time under tension that we talked about a few episodes back. So slow those reps down, slow them down, really feel that muscle working, and within a few weeks, I guarantee you'll be putting on some muscle.
Yeah. I mean, one of great thing you said that. One of my other uh, favorite biceps exercises is a Zotman curl where we
Yeah,
rotate on the
yeah.
way up.
Yep.
So I actually did a set of them yesterday, but I did a 3-3-X. So it's a 3 second flex, 3 seconds on the way down. Now, there's young guys in the gym, and you know, compared to their development, I'm got a lot more training years on them, so I'm much more developed. And you can see them kind of, they're kind of checking you out. Because again, like you, I go to a different town where
Everybody,
nobody knows me.
when you go to a regular gym, everybody has a staring problem.
Oh
You
yeah,
realize the same thing?
yeah,
I'm like, what? Why are they looking?
yeah. It gets annoying because it's like it's that stupid Globo gym stuff where people are,
Right. They're like
just
sizing you up.
yeah, they're trying to size you up. But I go up, and I don't know when this transition happened in my life, training life, but I'll use the 25s, and I feel like I get more out of that. Being a little bit older now, I'll be 33 actually this week. I'll get more out of using the 25s than the young kid that's trying to throw up the 50s. Now, can I curl 50s, 60s, 70s? Yeah. Are you going to get much out of it? No. So as you get more advanced in your lifting and you realize the weight is just a tool, like you're saying, put the muscle, make it work. Don't just move the weight because it's not going to do anything for
Right.
you.
Yeah. And the same thing with body weight. People talk about not having access to a gym and they go to body weight training because that's all they can do at home or that's all they have time for. You can still build muscle with push-ups and pull-ups and body weight squats, but again, it's a time under tension. So if you take those reps and you do a set of push-ups, right, and do 5 or 6 second reps on the way up and on the way down, you're not going to get very many. I guarantee it. You're not going to be banging out 50 push-ups because you are constantly squeezing
Yeah.
those chest and shoulder muscles and those tricep muscles, and that tension is so great that the intensity goes through the roof. So if you guys are out there using bodyweight exercises, or that's the majority of your program, or if you use rings or suspension trainers or that sort of thing, you can still build muscle that way, but you have to tweak the exercises and tweak the workout and the reps a little bit to work in your benefit. So you slow those reps down. The easier the exercise is, the slower you have to go.
Yeah.
Pretty basic and simple, but it
Great
works.
point. Great point. I'll throw something else out that, because we're big at intensity, guys, and like Chris is saying, keeping the muscle under tension for a long time. So a shoulder complex that I've been doing, again, you guys can do immediately. You don't go crazy with the weight because you're not gonna be able to handle it. But I've been doing something where I hit laterals, let's say 12 reps, upright row. So this is with dumbbells, 12 reps, and then a shrug or a bent over rear delt lateral, 12 reps. But you're using the same weight for all three. You can't put the weight down. So it might sound easy, but you're getting that 36 rep range. If you hit a fourth exercise, you're talking about 48 reps straight. So it's also a mental challenge, but it's quick. And I think that's the point. A lot of people got to get understand is you don't need to spend 2 hours in the gym.
No.
You know, you get in, you get it done, and more like a minimalist. You always want to apply like medicine, the least amount to get the results you want. You
Right.
know, and then when you need more, you add more in. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're spending 2 hours in the gym, then you're doing something wrong
yeah,
because there's no way you can keep what you need, which is intensity, that high for that amount of time when you're lifting weights. It's impossible. You can't. Your body will give you the finger and say this isn't happening anymore. So basically, if you're spending 2 hours in the gym, you're probably one of those guys that's like sitting on your phone for 10 minutes between sets,
yeah,
talking to your buddies. You know, if you get in and get out and you're all business when you're there, 45 minutes, hour tops. I mean,
to,
it doesn't take long.
yeah,
You can get a good workout in a half hour if you bust your ass. You know, and you can still grow. You know, I think guys look at the time they spend in the gym as like a bragging thing, but what they don't realize is it's not necessary. It's a
yeah,
waste of time. It's a waste. It's a waste. So
yeah. And I kind of like what you and I have done. We go to gyms outside our own. I go to a completely different town where, again, I want to be where there's no distractions. If you're going to a gym where there's an old saying, people go to the gym to talk about the bar, and at the bar they talk about the gym.
right.
But as these guys are in there, they're talking, they're talking, they're talking. Yeah, but once you catch up with your buddies, you put your headphones on and you go. And it's something that you guys should start implementing immediately is timing all of your workouts. You're not going to improve upon what you don't measure. And if you time it, you write down, oh shit, I was in here for 95 minutes. You know, it'll start to click. So that's something I would recommend as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't have a training partner, do you?
No.
I don't
Mm.
either. I can't. Like when I work out and I train, I'm just focused. Like I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
you know, um, so going back to intensity, there might be young guys listening to this. I just watched this movie a couple nights ago. You probably have never heard of it. It's called Pumping Iron. It's from
Hmm.
the '70s, right?
Yep.
You want to see what guys look like training with intensity. You want to see that in action? Watch that movie. It's on Netflix, I think. That's where I watched it. But there's guys doing bar squats. You know, they hit their 10th or 11th rep. I think Ed Cornier was doing bar squats, right?
Yeah. Yep.
At one point in the movie, and Arnold's behind him, and he's kind of egging him on a little bit. Somehow he got another, I think, 4 or 5 reps when he didn't have anything left in the tank, and you could see he racked the bar. He didn't even rack it straight when he was done. He racked it; it was all crooked, and he just fell to the ground. That's intensity. When you have like veins coming out of your neck and your head's red, and that's that's what you need to get the most benefit out of training. Intensity needs to be there. So for you young guys, if you're listening to this or if you've never seen Pumping Iron, watch it. It's a bodybuilding movie, but
Awesome.
yeah, but when the guys are training, when they're actually in the gym training, that's what you should look like when you're training.
Yeah, and
That,
I think Chris,
that's what it's
that
about.
completely. I think that's a mental skill too that people have to learn, and they've got to train themselves. So there's, I don't even know where I read it, but a good way to, so with the athletes a lot of times we'll do like mental toughness training. But again, it's just training the mind to be able to handle more with a workload. So anybody could try it. It's a great challenge. Push up 2.5s. So if you can do 50 push-ups in a row, you know, you got to be honest with yourself. Then at the end of your workout tonight, you're going to try to do 125 straight. Now the rule is you can't put your knees on the ground. You can rest in a plank position, side plank, downward dog. You can't put the knees down. I mean, you talk about, like you're saying, with that intensity, your head feels, like your eyes are going to pop out of your head, but it's really just how far can you push the mind,
Mm-hmm.
you know, without giving up. And once you start pushing to those limits, you realize, you know, I could get that extra couple reps. I could stay under tension a little longer.
Yeah.
And getting back to a lot of times you're trying to grow guys or change your body composition, the amount of weight isn't as important as you think. There was an old, I think he was a Bulgarian wrestler, 34-inch legs. And they said, you know, how do you get your legs like that? What do you do? And he said, all I do, you know, he trains for his sport, wrestling. He would do leg extensions, and he would do 135 pounds in the bar, an 8-minute set of squats.
Yeah.
8 straight minutes.
Yeah. Squats are a big one. Like obviously everybody wants to squat a lot of weight, right? They want to squat a lot of weight. But you guys have to understand that your legs, you're constantly walking on them the entire day. You're standing up, you're sitting down, you're constantly active. So if you want your legs to grow, high rep squats, high reps. You can do, a set of 6 to 8 to get that strength up a little bit, but after you do that, drop the weight down to maybe 50% or 40% and rep out. Do as many
Yeah.
reps as you can. And when you don't think you can do any more, do another 10. You know what I mean? Those high rep squats are what's going to help those legs grow. And it's going to help the rest of your body grow too, because it starts releasing that growth hormone in your system, keeps your anabolic hormones elevated. So people forget and they don't understand that squats, like you read any old school book on growing your legs, they all say the same thing. And
Squat.
it's all high rep squats. But
Yeah, I mean it's
that's crazy. 34 inch legs.
34, man. I mean that's insane.
Right.
I remember them talking. I think it was the same article. I got found. It was Eric Heiden. Was he the U.S. Olympic speed skater? He had like 33-inch
those
legs.
guys those guys' legs are huge.
Yeah, and when he would train, that he said he would do something like 500 pounds. He would use a leg press, which whatever, it's effective. It worked for him, but he would hit like 200 reps straight with 500. I mean, so the volume is just off the charts. And I mean,
Wow.
you talk about, he didn't care necessarily how much he was lifting, but the time and attention, it's crazy, man. Actually tried something that you had mentioned I think it was last time. So on Sundays, Sunday mornings is my squat day. So, uh, and I'll outline the workout in a second so people could utilize that. But after I do the main set of squats, so, my rep scheme now is 10-8. Like I said, same thing for the deadlift and
Right.
the big four lifts. Then I drop the weight down. And this week I got up to 7 minutes. So I had the clock set on 20 seconds. And I did what you had talked about, 3 reps every 20 seconds.
That's brutal, right?
Oh my gosh, man. It's so hard. I mean, it's uncomfortable because you rack the weight and you're only racking it for a second.
Right.
5 seconds, you're like, shit, I gotta go again. And it's a mental challenge. But the first week, I've done it 2 weeks now. The first week I did it, and again with all the training experience I have, my legs were sore for the whole week.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and it was with that, so another workout they could do if you're looking, because Sunday morning sometimes, that's when it's my cheat day, so I get to eat. I want to kick off the party right away, so I don't want to be in the gym like we said again. I want to go and get my workout and come home and relax. So you do your squats, then we did let's say start with a 5 minute set like I just said, like Chris had talked about a few weeks ago. Every 20 seconds you're trying to get 3 reps. If you can't do that, do 2 reps. So it's a 5 minute set, okay? Then what I've been doing on Sundays, I call them masonry walks, just because my grandfather is an old Italian mason, but it's actually farmer's walks. I'll start with the hundreds, and I'll go all the way down through the 55. So I walk 15 yards in my gym, down, and back. I rack them. I do face pulls, 10 reps, and I go to 95s. I mean, it's real quick. Workout's 30, 35 minutes, and it's intense, and you're getting everything you would need. I also do it's a triple drop set of opposite side loaded dumbbell lunges right after the squats. I forgot to mention that. So you're getting everything your legs would need. You're getting your heavy, you're getting your knee dominant, and with the walking, you're getting your hip extension and area around the pelvis, and you're hitting upper back. So that's a quick one you can try too.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Farmer carries are underused too. I mean, you do farmer carries, you do them heavy enough again so that they're intense.
Yeah.
Those traps like up to your ears.
Jesus, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it works your upper back pretty good.
Well, let me ask you this: if you had to pick? I was thinking this the other day. If you had to pick, let's say, 2 exercises, that's all you could use. What would you use?
2 exercises
That's it.
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, let's say we're doing. We'll actually maybe throw out a challenge here in a second. But let's say for the next year, you have 2 exercises. What are they going to be?
Oh, bro.
You can do them as much.
Curls and tricep extensions. That's it. That's all you do. No, I probably would do. I'm going to throw you for a loop here. You ready? I would probably do deadlifts, right, and weighted dips. Weighted dips are awesome.
That's cool, man. I
Weighted dips.
mean, that
Weighted dips to me, like I think about them, and I read this somewhere. I don't remember where I read it, but it makes total sense. Weighted dips are like squats for your upper body. They work everything: shoulders, chest. They work your core. They work your triceps. They work everything. Your lats. They're awesome. You guys can ditch the bench press and ditch your incline press and do heavy weighted dips and still grow like a weed.
yeah, right on. I mean, it's a lot of again, the more I get into my lifting career, the more I'm opting towards things like, and the reason I thought of that question, I still want to do the experiment, and if anybody wants to do that challenge, do something like Chris just said. Try it for 3 months and report to us. All you're going to do is deadlift and weighted dips. That's it. I can guarantee you, people will be shocked at the results they get with so few choices. So, in my mind, I always okay, I want to do deadlifts and pull-ups, and just do an experiment. Just do that. You get in, you get those things in. But and the reason it clicked when you said it is I think another option you could throw in if you only get to pick two things is a walk, a heavy farmer's walk.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hitting everything. I mean, it's crazy.
Or sled drag or something that's going to really get your whole body moving.
Yeah.
Heavy sled drag would be good too.
Yeah.
But you look at these kids, like even like these wrestlers from the Midwest or these farmers from the guys are freaking monsters.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just from all the manual labor and throwing hay bales and lifting stuff and carrying stuff and walking with it. It just goes to show you don't really need to be in the gym, or you don't have to do the typical 3 sets of 10 on your dumbbell flies, or it all depends on intensity and kind of as long as you're working hard and you're working your muscles.
Yeah. I think a lot of it in the gym it's just like mental masturbation. Like people are just coming up with stupid shit to do and throwing in all this stupid stuff but if you really boiled it down, you like the Pareto principle, 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of what you're doing, and you stuck with those lifts. Same, that principle applies to diet and everything. But I think people would save themselves time. They would get the same results or better results, I think. And you just got to remember, time does not equal productivity.
Right. The longer I've been in this business coaching people, the more I've realized that people want, and this goes into what you just said with people doing all kinds of weird stuff and exercises and like BOSU balls and balance boards and crazy weird shit you see them doing. People want workouts to be fun. They want their workouts to like be entertaining, And the reality is, if you want results, the workouts not. I mean, I think they're fun when I'm pushing myself because maybe I'm screwed up in the head, but to me, fun is like collapsing after a set of heavy squats or something, But people want this sort of entertainment value with workouts, and I was just reading a book. I did a book review on it on my blog. It's called Practical Approach to Strength Training. It's by Matt Brisky. It's like the guy's from Princeton University, I think. He works for Princeton.
Okay.
But the book, I think. Oh yeah, here you go. Shameless plug for the book. Here it is. But it's awesome because he talks about the basics. He talks about just progressive overload. He talks about different high intensity principles, and he just talks about hard work. I mean, I think so many gyms and so many places have gotten away from that because they're trying to be entertaining and entertain their members and entertain their clients and make the workouts fun and. But the reality is, if you want results, the old stuff works. So all this new stuff you find in muscle magazines and whatnot, that's great, but you can get the same, if not better, results if you just push your nose to the grindstone and just lift some heavy weights and just work. I mean, that book is awesome. That's like one of my new favorite books because there's nothing flashy about it. He just explains no BS principles, and you read it. Like I read that book, this whole book. I read it like in a couple of hours. I just blew through it. Yeah, oh yeah. Because it's such an easy read. He dumbs everything down. It's very, very practical and very easy. But you know, the old stuff was never broken. The old stuff still works, but people don't want to hear that because they want the newest and best and latest thing. But that old stuff works. I mean, it's all diet and lifting heavy weights and time under tension, like we talked about, and intensity. You get enough rest and you have all those things in line, you're good to go. It's not
Yeah.
rocket science. It's really not rocket science. And any trainer or coach that tries to tell you that they have the magic bullet and they, tries to tell you that you need them, that's the wrong coach to go to.
Yeah.
So, but that old stuff worked because you can get this information, but people don't want this because it's not flashy,
hmm
you know?
Yeah, and there was a quote. It really stuck with me when I read it. It was in Delivering Happiness, the Tony Hsieh book from Zappos. And it had nothing to do with. He wasn't talking about relationships or anything, but he said in there, novelty is the greatest aphrodisiac. And that's what people's mindset is, though, is that they want. That's why guys cheat. That's why people want to change stuff up just to change it up. That's why the newest thing is always like the hottest.
Hmm.
So, but when you remember that, for example, like we're talking about the workouts with dieting, let's say, okay, we're looking at successful dieters. I mean, that word is whatever, but um, the most successful dieters are the ones that get into routine and they eat the same stuff over and over and over and
But
over and
nobody
over.
wants to do that.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to do that because it's not fucking fun.
yeah, but dude, I'm shocked how many
Because it
times.
sucks.
Yeah, people tell me, "Oh, I want to lose fat or I want to gain muscle." Well, what can I do to switch it up? Before they even started it,
Right,
I said, "Listen, if you're going to try to switch up your diet every single day, and you could plug and play," I tell them, "you're not going to succeed.
right.
You're not going to succeed. You got to have that consistency in the basics, and you just kind of follow that guideline." But it's
Right.
yeah, it's
It's not what
crazy,
people
man.
want, man. It's not what people want. People want that fun aspect. People want that, they don't want the basic plain stuff that works. They because to them it's not it's I don't know. They need that like fresh uh, outlook on it. I don't know. They just need they don't want something that's boring basically.
Yeah,
But to me, like if boring works, I'm all about doing boring.
yeah.
you know.
That is funny because Wendler talks about that. You read his 531 and all
I
those
haven't.
books?
I haven't. I'm familiar with
Oh,
it. Sure.
dude, you would like him, man. It's a real cool way to program. But he has a program in there, boring but big. And you hit your main lifts, and let's say on squat day, your next second exercise might be RDLs. You might hit a row. Boom,
Yeah.
you're done. You're out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just yeah, those books are cool, man. I mean, I think it's a real simple way to program. It's a way to keep getting stronger, and it's very simple.
I haven't heard a bad thing about it. Everybody that I've known who's done 531 has raved about the strength gains that they've got from it.
Yeah,
You know.
I think it's really cool. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I have a lot of my older guys on. They're on like a bodybuilding plan, but we start them out with the 531 template. So they have their main lifts, so that way they're constantly hitting strength numbers
Right.
and records. And another thing, we'll touch on too before uh, we come to the end is it depends on what your goal is too, like where you're at in life. Like the more, the bodybuilding now, like I said, I finished the shows. My whole mindset with working out now, and it's been an evolution, it is uh, yeah, you want to push yourself, but it's health reasons. I want to feel good. I want my brain to function really well. I want to, and I remember Vince Gabriel, he had said something. He said, guys, you look at all these top CEOs and executives. He goes, those guys are in really, really great shape, a lot of them. They're not huge muscle heads walking around, but they're in really good shape, and they realize their body is kind of a tool to help them function in the rest of their life. So it
Right.
depends on what your goals are. I mean, and that's something people should do is come up with what is the definition of health for you personally, and you got to target the training around whatever that is.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. When I was younger and I was just only doing bodybuilding. I mean, I've kind of gotten back to doing bodybuilding because I enjoy it, the training.
Yeah,
But when I was like my thing and I was only locked in and dialed into doing that, I would do anything. Like I would take all kinds of supplements and like because I didn't care about health at that point. I just wanted to be big as possible or as ripped as possible. And as you get older, your priorities change. You you get married or you start to have a family, and you don't you want to be healthy so that you can be around for them and provide, and all that other stuff kind of goes out the window, you know. So like you said,
Totally.
health is very important. So if that's not first, you should kind of reprioritize a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
because bodybuilding with all the supplements and stuff, and if guys are doing other stuff, it can really screw you up, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's something to take into consideration. Yeah. I mean, I think we gave you guys some cool stuff that you could put to use right away. Um, so, what you got? Anything else you want to add in before we do our closing remarks?
no, that's it, guys. Hopefully you got something out of this. I think this is a pretty good one today. I think it was kind
Yeah.
of a little bit more off the cuff, but I think you guys got a lot of good info. And leave comments. Let us know how the workouts worked out for you, or if there's stuff that you guys are doing now that you want us to kind of comment on and give our take on it. Let us know. Write a comment below the video, and we'll get on that on the next one.
Definitely, you definitely do that. And I know I said it before, but we are going to be setting up a website for this. Going to have it converted into a iTunes podcast so you can listen to it while you're driving around. You don't have to make sure you don't have to be seated in front of a computer. And on that website, guys, we're going to have some cool stuff. We'll post workouts up there. We'll post our book list like some of you have asked for. There's a lot of cool stuff, so keep an eye out for that. It's in the works, and it's coming. And, we'll make it happen. That's all I got, man. Like you said, like Chris said, if you guys have anything you want to see as well, tell us.
Yeah, chances are we've been in your shoes at some point. One of us has.
Yeah.
So let us know. All right, guys.
Cool, man.
All right. See you
All
guys
right.
on the next one.
Later.